Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Patient Players Podcast. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to episode 58. This is the November the 16th edition of the Patient Players Podcast, and I am one of your two amazing hosts. My name is Daniel. It's wonderful to meet you. Thank you for joining me here. Along with my hosting skills, you will have the pleasure of hearing Jordan. Hello, Jordan. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm Dr. Seuss's thing too.
And am I the thing one, or am I just something completely different?
No, you're thing one. If you want to be. You don't have to be if you don't want to.
No, I don't think I will be. I think you're just thing two.
Oh, sad. What happened to my thing one?
I don't know. I'm that grumpy guy who doesn't want to eat the green eggs and hams until he does, and then he really wants to eat them.
Oh, I see.
Also,
okay,
spoilers.
That's fair, I guess.
Dr. Seuss spoilers. I'm sorry. I should have called that out in advance.
I'm a little surprised they haven't made green eggs and ham into a movie yet.
Have the Dr. Seuss movies been good? I gotta be real.
No.
I haven't seen any of them.
No, of course not. But that doesn't stop them from making movies.
Don't people like the Lorax, or do people just like to meme on the Lorax?
That's a great question. Did people like the Lorax?
If you liked the Lorax,
I am easily entertained by cartoons, so that's not much to go off of.
So they don't have to be high quality. You just like them.
54% on Rotten Tomatoes and 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
I feel like that's a middling.
It was a movie.
It was a movie that came out, and it was about the trees.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, it had Zac Efron in it. And Danny DeVito. I totally forgot about that.
Isn't Danny DeVito the Lorax?
Uh-huh. And Taylor Swift. Oh my goodness.
I think I remember reading some tidbit somewhere that apparently Danny DeVito did all of the voices in all of the languages.
Wow.
And that he would sit down for a recording session in like French or whatever, and he would have like a French coach like read the line, and then he would just mimic the exact line. He wouldn't even know what he was saying, but he would get the accent right because he's just literally word for word repeating what like a coach is saying.
Danny to MVP.
So every version of the Lorax is Danny DeVito. There are no others. He is alone the Lorax, apparently.
That's amazing. What a guy. The hero we need, but not the one we deserve. Danny DeVito.
I feel like the world deserves Danny DeVito. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Oh, man. So if you're new to the podcast, we're going to talk about gaming. We're going to talk about gaming in the slow lane. Often we are going to be going back and playing games that we play all the time. They may have gotten new updates we'll talk about, or new DLC or something like that. Or you'll hear us play some games that you haven't heard about in a while, and we may have missed them or picked them up on sale or gotten them for free. We do talk a lot about different deals and free games on this podcast, so keep an ear out for that, and you will be able to follow along. At the end of the podcast, we're going to do a questions and answers section. So, you know, if you liked the Lorax, if you want to talk about video games, whatever your situation is, you can email us over at patientplayerspodcast@gmail.com or any number of ways to connect over on patientplayers.com/social. We'll come back around to that later.
You know, I actually almost sent in a question myself this week, but I forgot to type it out.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Okay, why don't you just pretend like you're reading that email when we get to the emails?
Well, I forgot what the content was going to be is the problem. Or else I could just ask it during the question and answers part.
So you really have two problems. One, you forgot to do it, and two, you just forgot it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why, like, if I forgot to do it, who cares? Because I could just do it right now and not tell you. But the problem is I forgot what the question was. It had to do with hot dogs. And
we've already answered a lot of hot dog questions. I gotta be real.
Know, it was is a hot dog a Subway sandwich?
This is just a derivative of a question we've already answered.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a follow up. Or is a Subway sandwich a hot dog bun?
There's a wiener involved with the hot dog, and there's no wiener in a Subway sandwich.
What if I wanted a wiener in my Subway sandwich?
Then you'd be ordering an extra big hot dog.
Dang. That's deep. I don't think that was the question though. Like it was something along those lines. It was better than that, and I will send it in if I ever remember.
All right. Well, on the topic of live questions from Jordan, live questions from anyone, I will make a quick note here before we jump into the games we've been playing for the week, in that If you're used to watching the Patient Players podcast live, we do live Twitch streams. This week is a little off. We had a couple scheduling hiccups and another hiccup that I'm sure Jordan's going to tell you about in a second. But in the meantime, we are still getting our normal podcast out, but just with a little bit less of that Twitch interaction. But in the future, keep an eye out on that social media page, and we'll announce when we're doing our live recordings. You can join in and watch the video stream, also ask questions live, that kind of thing. But in the meantime, so Jordan, do you want to explain a little bit about the hiccup you've encountered this week?
I was sitting here and I was like, oh, what could it be? I have no idea what he's talking about. And then I do know what you're talking about. I got a very nice graphics card as a gift for Christmas last year, and it works wonderfully. However, when I play big old AAA games like Monster Hunter on high graphics or VR games, one of the fans start to rattle a little bit, which, it works fine. It's just annoying to hear it. So I kind of put it off for a long time. And then, you know what? This, like in the past few weeks, I was like, you know what? The warranty might expire soon, so I'm going to send it in. So I don't have a GPU in my computer right now.
It's just gone.
It has been sent in. They received it, I think, on Friday at 7 p.m. So I'm hoping that they can fix the fan in it, so it'll be nice and just, nice and silent when I get it back. But yeah, so there's a lot of games I can't play right now. I was gonna play Beat Saber this week. Like, of course this happens. Like, the one time I get this super urge, to play Beat Saber, which happens not that often. I can't. I don't have a graphics card to play it.
Something tells me your integrated Intel graphics chip probably won't handle the beats as well as you'd hope.
Oh gosh, yeah, that would be terrible. So, yeah, and what's even funny is that, so I had planned on sending it in already for a while, but a lot of extra errands came up on Monday, so I was like, I'll send it in on Monday then. So I packed it up quickly on Monday and sent it in. We had already made plans to play Overwatch together on Wednesday.
Yeah, we had like this like a friend date on Wednesday. We haven't played Overwatch in months. I don't think I've played more than one session since the Hero Echo was released. So it's been ages since we played. We used to play all the time, and we had this great big grand plan on Wednesday. And then I sat down. I was like, all right, let's do some Overwatch. And you sent me a text. You were like, so I don't know how to play Overwatch without a video card.
Yeah, I had totally forgot that I needed a video card for that night, so I had already sent it in. So after a lot of finagling with my MacBook and some virtual machines, I ended up just going back to my PC and using the integrated graphics, and it worked. It worked pretty well. Overwatch is a very, very well optimized game.
Yeah,
for it to run
legendary for that,
like 30 frames smoothly without a graphics card.
Definitely. Before I purchased this earlier this year, remember I got that gaming laptop, but before that, the only laptop I've had ever since I was a kid were just like hand-me-down MacBooks. So they weren't even like modern MacBooks. They're like old MacBooks from my parents or my family or whatever. And the Blizzard games were like the only things I could consistently run on there. It was like, okay, I can play StarCraft, I can play World of Warcraft. Unfortunately, Overwatch doesn't work on Mac, but Heroes of the Storm, like those things run great on pretty much any hardware that I've ever run them on. They're at least playable. They may not look beautiful, but they don't have to, I guess.
They do good work. Good stuff.
So I thought it was interesting. You said they just received it Friday, so it took the whole week just for them to get it?
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really pay for expedited shipping. So
right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that when they send it back, they'll use something a little bit more express. That way you can join in on the fun. It's kind of weird because like this week, I mean, we're the patient players, so like the new consoles, the new games aren't really our forte. I mean, there are other places out there that'll handle all of that news. That's kind of the whole point. Oh, until I'm sure you're going to talk about something at some point.
No.
But
no.
Oh no! I can't handle it. Just out with it. What's happening?
Oh my word, Daniel! I tried. I tried so hard
to stay away
to get a PS5.
Oh, that's not very patient players of you.
It's not. But I was like, you know what? They're hot. They're popular. I want to see if I can at least get one. I stayed up till like 3 a.m. on launch night I had it added to my cart 4 times that night.
Oh no.
These sites so this is what happened. So across the 2 days, launch day night and launch actual day, I had it added to my cart about 8 or 9 times. So what would happen was the website would just go down, just completely dead. It usually took around 6 minutes. By the 6-minute mark of refreshing the page, that's when you knew. When it came back, it would say it was out of stock. Like, there was nothing you could do besides stare at a refreshing page. Occasionally, you would get through, you would add it to your cart, you'd get to the checkout, you'd click checkout, and then that's when it would say, this item is sold out. It was insane how hard it is to get one. And scalpers are selling them for 4 to 5 times their price on eBay right now.
Whoa, are they selling?
Yes, like $2,500 PS5s are selling.
Oh my gosh.
Because the demand is insane. So I didn't think it'd be that hard, so I just wanted to see if I could get one. I could not. So I honestly haven't tried again. You know, I've seen like stock alerts saying, "Hey, they're up." I just don't. I just wanted to see if I could get one on launch day, and I couldn't. But wow, it was crazy. And my buddy Sam was also trying because he actually wanted one. And on my side, I was like, if I could get one, I would just send him mine, like put in his address. But yeah, he couldn't get one either, and we tried all day long on launch day.
Whoa. So like, but I'm surprised. Like, I know the demand's high. People have been wanting consoles in quarantine. I mean, demand's high for all sorts of like at-home entertainment the whole year. But and demand's always high for the early products. But they've been messaging the whole quarantine like, hey, we know demand's going to be high. We've been overproducing. Like, we know we're going to have a lot of units, and there's like nothing coming out for the PS5 that's a killer app. Like Dark Souls. Everything else comes out on PS4. I guess people may not know that, or they're just really excited to play it.
Demon Souls is an exclusive for PS5.
Did I say Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
But
Demon
that's
Souls.
not going to be on PS4. That is a PS5 exclusive.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the only one I can think of, because like I know Sackboy and Miles Morales, like those are going to have PS4 versions.
Yeah.
I guess people just really want to... I mean,
yeah,
maybe they want to play like Assassin's
thing.
Creed or Watch Dogs or something.
Like... people just want the next big thing, I guess. And
that's so strange.
It was so refreshing to see people in like the live chat, because like on the stock website there's like a live chat. People are like, "Oh, I just got my 3rd one." It's like, no, stop buying them. You got yours. Like, let other people buy one. So
I wonder,
the fact that some people could get 3 makes me think that, I don't know, maybe they were like closer to where the servers were based, and so they could get in half a second earlier on the sites. I have no idea what it could be. Every time I tried, the site would crash 100%, and when it came back, it was already too late.
That's crazy. I wonder if it's something like what if someone would decide to release an early adopter model at like double or triple the price? Like, that's... That I feel like that would get a lot of bad will for people. But also the alternative is all this scalping nonsense. And it's like, what if you just released it at a price scalpers wouldn't want to buy it, and then the people out there who are willing to buy it at that huge price can get in early,
right? And
then once you have more stock, drop the price down. You know what? Now that I think about it, that's a horrible decision.
Yeah,
don't do that.
My friend Sam was like, if only eBay would say we're not allowing like resales of this product for 30 days. I think that would be a good way around it. But imagine how much money they're making off the percentages of people selling PS5s for $2,000.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Some guy listed it for like 16,000, and another guy for like 30,000. I hope those didn't sell.
Just the novelty at that point.
Yeah,
man. It's like I remember there was a good joke going around at the launch of the... Oh shoot, was it the PS4? There was an exclusive game for the PS4, and someone got a copy of the game early, and they tried to sell it on eBay, and someone bought it for like thousands of dollars. But it's like the console wasn't out yet, so it's like, what are you gonna play this on?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, I think it was like Uncharted for the PSP or something like that. Like before the Vita, before the Vita came out, someone had like Uncharted, and they were selling it for this huge amount. It didn't make any sense. Maybe I'm remembering the story incorrectly.
That's
Okay, so
interesting.
you have not purchased the new hardware.
I have not, and I have since stopped trying to. I just wanted to, it was just a fun game, really, to see if I could do it.
That's an expensive game.
Well, a worst case scenario, I would sell it and make my money back twice over, or give it to my
that's
buddy
true.
Sam, who actually wanted one.
You would become the scalper that you regretted.
Yeah,
being
well,
in the first
yeah,
place.
that was. I wouldn't have. I don't think I could have, like, doubled it. I would have just given it to Sam.
Couldn't have bring yourself to be that person.
No,
That's
I
a lot
really,
of money.
I really can't. It is a lot of money, but it's being a scumbag to make a lot of money. That's not worth making the money.
That's true.
To me.
That's true. So, didn't get the new console, and that kind of fits into what I was saying before. I mean, most of what we're going to be talking about is probably not that new stuff. There are a lot of great outlets out there to hear about it, but you come to the Patient Players for our unique brand of cheap gaming. So,
Yes.
I actually did spend a little bit of money this week. Do you want to hear about it?
Yeah.
I purchased two different things. Now that I think about them and comparison to each other, it's kind of funny. For a game that I already own and have been playing, you know, I've been playing that Genshin Impact, that free-to-play game.
Mm-hmm.
Totally, you know, free, no money involved except for when I spend a bunch of money on it. My first monthly subscription has lapsed, so I did re-up that $5 subscription to continue getting my little dose of premium currency, which I don't feel bad about considering how much I've been playing that game. The other decision I had to make was on the Battle Pass. So the first Battle Pass came to an end, and they just re-upped into it like a second season of the Battle Pass. And if you remember the way that works, there's like a free tier and a premium tier, and you can unlock just as many levels when you're free, but you get less rewards. And then if you upgrade, you get retroactively all the rewards for all the levels that you've unlocked. Well, I had been dutifully playing the game, you know, every day, getting my daily quests in, doing a few of the extra stuff every week, doing the events, because I just enjoy the game. And I managed to get all the way up to like level 35 on the Battle Pass, just on my own, 35 out of 50. And I wanted to buy into the premium tier because they have like a special reward at level 30 on the premium tier. And I was like, I've played this game enough. I'll throw down $10 for it. And then they caught me. They got me with their little scheme.
Oh no! Was it like one of the the last minute? Hey, you can add such and such to.
It's more that they give you two options. They're like, well, you can upgrade for $10, or when you upgrade, if you throw an extra $10 in there, we will upgrade you and add 10 levels to your battle pass. And the highest level of the battle pass at level 50, you get a bunch of premium currency. So since I was able to get to 35 on my own, that 10 level like shot in the arm got me to 45, and then I could actually spend some premium currency to get to 50. And I actually was so close to 50 already that the amount I had to spend was less than the amount I get back for reaching 50.
Oh, very nice. So was there even a point to getting to 50 at all?
Yeah, I mean, there are other rewards every level, and the higher tier rewards are worth more. So I got like heaps of in-game currency, not the premium currency, because I spent roughly like 80% of the premium currency that I earned for hitting level 50, but I got all the rewards along the way for the entire battle pass. So I did spend $20. It's $10 to upgrade. It's another $10 to get that boost. So I spent total of $25 this week on Genshin.
So you're saying that the true treasures were the rewards you earned along the way?
Yeah, you know, the weapon crystals and all the gold. I had 2-point-something million money, which I usually spend like 500,000 in the course of a week. So I have like a month worth of money to spend on upgrades, which is it's pretty good. I'm hitting that point in the difficulty curve where like it would take maybe like a full couple days of playing to like significantly upgrade one of my guys, and I have 4 of them. So it's starting to slow down how fast I'm progressing, and this shot in the arm it's that dopamine rush, man. It came right when I needed it, right when the progression was slowing down. I just got heaps of character upgrade material, and so all of my guys just like shot up to the next tier, and now it's like starting to slow down again. But they have a new battle pass, but there's no way that I'm going to be able to like hit level 50 unless I play a ton of it again. Mm-hmm. So
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
but I'm still enjoying it. Just to say that particular rat race of upgrading the characters is starting to slow down. But I'm kind of fine with that, honestly.
Nice.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I wanted to say one more thing on Genshin Impact that I forgot about. They had their first huge update. Version 1.1 dropped this week.
Wait, their first huge update?
Yeah.
They haven't had a huge update thus far?
I mean, not like a named update. They've had like events that have triggered, and they've had like bug fixes and stuff like that.
Crazy.
But this one adds a couple new characters, starts a new battle pass. They added a new mechanic I haven't gotten into, where apparently like the two different major cities in the game, you have like a loyalty system where you can do these side quests and get unique rewards from each city, like cosmetics, or I think they have one that's like a radar that helps you find the unlockables out in the world. So I'm interested to try that stuff out. But yeah, it seems pretty cool. And I think that they've added some additional storyline quests. So if you've beaten the story up to what they had released already, I think there's some new stuff for you to do with version 1.1.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. What were you going to say?
I don't remember.
Oh, no.
No, I know. I also bought a battle pass this week.
Oh, really?
I did. Very excitedly. Hearthstone got got a massive rework for how it does like just free to play rewards and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing that, they also added in like a battle pass system. So I bought the Hearthstone battle pass.
Okay.
And I'm loving it. It's really cool. There's achievements in the game now too, which are super fun. It's crazy. It took them like 6 years to add those. But
so question, is it like a free and premium tier, or you have to buy the battle pass?
No, there is a free and there's a premium one, but obviously I'm going to buy the premium one because I love me some Hearthstone.
Okay.
Yeah. So good.
Are in your opinion, is it now easier to get the cards that you want without spending tons of money, or is it about the same?
It seems about the same so far.
Okay.
Yeah, with just a bunch of other things that you didn't get for free beforehand, like skins, with the premium one, and yeah, like just card packs that you don't get to choose which one they are.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's basically it. I like it. Some people online are complaining, obviously, about it because they don't think it's fair enough. So if they do that, maybe it'll get a little tastier, which I would be fine with. But I think it's fine the way it is right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense to me. So anything else to say on Hearthstone?
No, just that I'm loving it, and achievements are wonderful, and it's a great game.
Mm-hmm. There was something I wanted to talk about. I'd forgotten to write it down, and it actually relates back to the technical hardware issues you were having earlier. I ran into something I want to talk about. Two things actually, back to back. I've had a really rough week. It's been real tough with just like sickness in the family and stuff like that. So this just added to the junk of this week. But on Monday night, kind of in the midst of this really tough time, I was playing some Genshin Impact, and I went to dodge something on one of my characters, and my elite controller right bumper just snapped.
Oh, that's right.
So, man, this thing served me so well for so many years. It's one of my favorite like tech pieces that I have. But yeah, the bumper that normally just like a quick little snap in, you have to push it at the right angle now for it to register. Otherwise, it just kind of loose and wobbly on the top of the controller. You can like pull it up and look underneath it. So some plastic piece inside has definitely snapped. And I've had it for years, so I really don't think I can get any sort of warranty repair on it or anything. But also kind of opens the door up for some new fancy controllers for the holiday. I'm thinking about the new Elite controllers that have Bluetooth, which would be pretty rad.
Yeah.
But I don't even know though, because like the new controllers are out, right? Like the new PlayStation, the new Xbox controllers, and I'm like, do I wait?
Hold on. Are there new Xbox controllers? I don't actually know the answer to this.
I mean, I can do a Google search, but I believe they both have some moderately new controllers.
Because I haven't heard a single thing about any new Xbox controllers.
I'm looking at a picture. Wait a second. You might be right. Wait a second.
Yeah, I think because they kind of updated the old ones like halfway through the old console life. So I think they just kept those new ones that they did back then.
Okay, I am on an Xbox official website regarding the Xbox Series X controller, and they do have like an update to the Xbox One controller. So it is the Xbox Series X controller. They do have one.
Oh, okay. So what's new about it?
from just looking at it, I couldn't tell you. It appears that they have changed some of the buttons on the front. Like they've added a download asset button. I don't know what that means.
What?
Oh, no, not download asset. I'm sorry. I'm looking at a bunch of pictures that are assets and it's telling me I can download the asset. They added, I think, a share button on the front.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see it.
And the regular controller has some of the like gripping that the Elite controller normally does. And I think the D-pad has some changes, but all the buttons are basically the same. But the point is that if they decide to do like an Elite controller Series 3, or if Sony wants to do some sort of Elite offering, because I know that people are really raving about how good the DualSense is. Mm-hmm. So if one of those were to come out in the next like 3 to 6 months, then maybe I just jump on that instead of getting the Elite Series 2. So I don't know what to do anymore, but it still works. It's just the right bumper is not super reliable, which for someone who likes to play From Software games, that's like your primary attack button, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, surely. Did you do any Googling to see if it happened to a lot of other people? See if it's something you can fix yourself, maybe, by opening it up?
I didn't really. I mean, just thinking about how it felt when it happened and how it feels when I'm using it now, I'm almost certain that some small plastic tab just snapped off, and that I doubt it's something I can fix myself. It did kind of compound with another issue, because the very next day I went to boot up Genshin on my laptop and found that I was experiencing the same annoying frame drops that I had from a few weeks ago that I spent hours working on with tech support.
Tech problems.
And the solution that solved at that time was not working anymore. I blame a new NVIDIA driver that actually came out. And so I like tried to roll back, and that didn't fix it. And I spent another few hours on it. Thankfully, I kind of put it aside, and because I was frustrated with it, and I was going to call tech support yesterday. And before I called them, I opened it back up and fiddled with it a little bit more, turned off some of the like background battery saving services that NVIDIA has, and a couple other things. I don't know which thing I changed that did it, but one of them fixed it. So it is now running properly.
Oh, you fixed it. Oh, wonderful.
Yes. Oh, I fixed it this time. The rate it's going, it's going to break again in another week. Who knows at this point? But
dude, that makes me so happy. When we played Overwatch on Wednesday, I was fiddling with the idea. I mentioned it to you that I wanted to see if I could like play Overwatch on your laptop and then stream it to my computer. That was before I switched over to my desktop with the integrated graphics.
Yeah,
but I almost still want to try that to see how.
I'll be your personal Stadia. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, I still want to try that just because that seems like I have really fast internet, and I feel like if you just plugged it in Ethernet wise, like I feel like it would be good enough and also look pretty. I don't know.
I mean, there'd just be that split-second delay, which for certain types of games like shooters would be tough.
Or would there be? You don't know. But it's funny you mentioned Stadia.
Uh-huh.
Do you have, Mr. Daniel Podcast, do you have YouTube Premium?
Is that the same thing as YouTube Red? I don't have either. I'm just curious.
No. Yes. No. YouTube Red died and was reborn like a phoenix into YouTube Premium.
Okay. I've never had either.
Okay. That's fine because no one does. However, my brother-in-law, he has the kids. They got the 3 kids, so they rely very heavily on the YouTube for the kid shows on YouTube. So they pay for premium, and they have a family plan. So at some point, I went to them and I was like, "Hey, can I get on your family plan just because you have open slots?"
And you're like, family.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Oh, that too, yeah. So I get premium through their family plan.
Cool.
And the last week, Google said, "Hey, if any of you guys have YouTube Premium, we will send you a free $100 Stadia kit, which includes the controller and a Chromecast."
Okay.
And that worked for me, even though I'm using Premium through my brother-in-law's subscription. So I'm getting a free Stadia controller and Chromecast sent to me that would usually cost like $100.
I wonder what would happen if he also submitted for that.
I wondered that too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Has he?
No.
You should get him to do it and then tell the podcast.
I don't think he cares. But see, then there's the fear of if he knows about it and it doesn't work, then I would feel obligated to give him mine.
But how badly do you want a Chromecast and a Stadia controller?
If it's free, pretty badly.
Okay. That's fair. Are you planning on playing anything on Stadia?
No. Because
Okay.
you still have to buy games, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, there are very few games that are part of like a premium subscription. Like, I think Destiny is.
Yeah. It,
for all the Destiny you want to be playing on Stadia.
Yeah, it came with a 1 month free trial. So whenever it arrives, I'll be able to try some of the games for free just to see if it runs at all.
Okay.
On my internet, which I assume it will. So I'm really excited to see how that runs. But again, I never ever want to buy a game that I don't actually own. That's just in the cloud somewhere. And Google's notorious for shutting down services that people love to use.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't exactly trust them with keeping Stadia alive, especially in a market where streaming games isn't really a big thing yet. It just might get there one day.
Emerging industry, yes.
Exactly. So
with fierce competition from Amazon Luna and from the
Sony
Xbox xCloud stuff.
Yeah, and Sony. Like, everyone's doing it.
I feel like Sony's kind of like, PlayStation Now is not quite the same, but maybe it can get there easily. I don't know.
What do you mean? Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, you can stream PS4 games without owning a PS4. It's literally streaming their exclusives. I think that's huge.
I guess so. So you got Stadia. Is this something that has an expiration date on it, or does if I go and pay whatever $15, $7, whatever they're charging for YouTube Premium, if I go pay that, do I just get it as well?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. It might be like if you subscribe before this date, kind of thing.
That's what I was thinking, but I was curious, like if they had a stipulation about that.
That's a good question. I'm going to look that up.
Okay. While you're looking that up, I can talk about some of the other stuff I've played, because that wasn't the only thing I purchased this week, actually.
No.
Yeah, beyond the $25 I spent on Genshin Impact. I had a little reflective moment earlier in the podcast because I realized that it's funny that I spent $25 on Genshin Impact, which I already owned. I bought another, I think, 7 games from Humble Bundle for about $17.
Oh, you bought the Humble Bundle deal?
No, I did not buy the Humble Choice. If that's what you were asking?
Mm-hmm.
I did not buy the monthly Humble Bundle.
Oh.
They actually have a standalone bundle that they released this week for the next couple of weeks that you should go check out. It is the Humble Fall VR bundle.
Oh, that's nice.
And for once, there was like a neat Humble Bundle. I literally didn't own a single one of the games before I purchased it.
What?
So there was only 2 or 3 that I was super interested in, and usually that's enough to get me to buy a bundle. And I figured, hey, for $17,
sick. I'm looking at it.
I'll pick this up. Yeah, they have at the highest tier, if you pay 17 or more, you get the Saints or Sinners Walking Dead game, and you get one called
Zero Caliber.
Yes, Zero Caliber, which looks kind of interesting, more like a modern military game. It's amazing how many of these games in this bundle are just, it's a shooter, but in VR. But they have different tones, right? Like I wouldn't call Saints and Sinners a shooter, even though you have guns, because it's like a zombie survival game. Meanwhile, you have Killing Floor, which is like a more action-y zombie game. It's not about survival. It's about killing all the zombies that are coming at you. Raw Data is like a robot sci-fi ninja shooting game. They have Creed, which is not a shooting game. That's the boxing game, the licensed boxing game based off of the movie.
And then the one I'm most excited about.
Is it the I Expect You to Die?
Yes, I actually already own this game on Steam. I haven't played it yet, but I got it on sale a long time ago because I heard it was really, really good.
I also own it now. So picked up all of those, installed a bunch of them. So far, I've only played Saints and Sinners, so I could tell you about that one, but I have a whole lot of VR content to work my way through now, which feels great with this Quest 2 that I've really been enjoying. And it's nice to plug in, though. I forgot how badly Steam VR interacts with Oculus Link, though. I'm remembering now from Boneworks how this all went down. But when you take the headset off, it temporarily turns off Oculus Link until you put it back on. And so from Steam VR's perspective, it just kills the connection to the headset, and you have to restart Steam VR, which shuts down the game. So if you take the headset off at all, you have to restart the entire game. I remember running into that with Boneworks, which sucked because Boneworks before a certain update, it had really awful checkpointing. So you could lose as much as like 30 minutes of progress if you had to take the headset off.
Oh,
and that
no.
felt really bad. I was playing a couple nights ago when I was playing Saints and Sinners, and my wife came in the room and she was like, hey, she was like trying on clothes for a wedding that she's a part of. And she was like, can you look at this? And I was like, I really can't. I can't take this headset off or else I have to restart my whole game. So I had to like peep through that little hole, the nose hole on the Oculus, and give her my opinion on her clothes.
That's hilarious.
Not the fault of the games though, just the interactions between Steam and Oculus. But Saints and Sinners, pretty fun.
Okay, hold on. I have a question first before we.
Yes.
Did you go with the default charity when you bought this bundle, or did you change around the charity settings?
I did not change around charity settings. I believe the charity is for No Shave November.
Wait.
Is it not?
Oh, there's two, but I don't know which one it is.
It's probably a split between both of them if there's two.
Oh,
of them.
Okay. No, never mind then. I thought it was JDRF. Mine shows JDRF.
I believe JDRF is the one that is being supported by this month's Humble Choice. But the Fall VR one is for Movember.
Okay. Well, I was gonna thank you for the cause, but never mind then. Now continue on with your.
Is it like a diabetic research foundation?
JDRF is for diabetes.
Apparently I heard from my wife. We have a new listener, new subscriber, who is a diabetic. So shout outs to our diabetic friends.
Shout out to all the diabetics in the world. Hashtag Type 1s unite, or Type 2. You know, you do you.
Type 1 or Type 2, you do you. That
Jordan Podcast 2020.
Well, so both of us paused on the Humble Choice. So neither of us want to support the cause, apparently. But
no!
I will support the cause for prostate cancer research. I don't know. I just wanted the VR games. That's all. I'm sorry.
You monster.
Saints and Sinners. It's a game where you walk around real slowly, and there are zombies, and they come at you, and you stab them in the head with screwdrivers, and they die. And it was kind of scary, but it seems like a real slow-paced game. It seems like one of those games where you really have to carefully manage your resources and salvage stuff in order to craft stuff, and it seems like it worked really well for what it wanted to do. If I had less things to play right now, I would be more excited for it, especially since even if I wanted to play something in VR, I have like 7 VR games I could go play. So I'm
including
like including Asgard's Wrath, which I bought a few weeks ago. So I would play it another day, and I might still play it, but I don't know if I want to play it right now. I will say it did a great job of actually like stressing me out, because the very first, like after the tutorial, very first like mission that you're on, you run into a side quest where you have to like go kill a particular zombie that used to be someone's husband and get like an item for them. And they have like a little character moment, but the reward for that I thought would just be like a reward that the person gives you, but instead they give you a code for a safe that's back in a house that you were already in. And
that's fun.
They add tension to the game by having like these church bells ring, and when the church bells rings, the zombie goes nuts, and so you have like an alarm on your watch that's ticking down to this like crazy event where zombies are just going to swarm you. So I was like trying to stealthily loot this building that all these zombies were in, and I can't be loud, and I have to go slow and make sure they don't jump out on me, right? But meanwhile, I have this constant time pressure of like, if I don't get all of this stuff, the church bells are going to ring and I'm just screwed. So that was a little scary, but
that's fun.
I managed to get out of the first level just fine, and it was a good game.
You did it.
I did it. And that's basically what I did in VR this week. I'm looking forward to doing some Beat Saber, doing some more stuff. Oh, I found out via that Discord channel that I'm on for that Attack on Titan like hacky side-loaded game, that the guy releases beta patches through the Discord, and there's a beta patch out there right now that has a boss fight with the armored Titan.
Oh my goodness!
It sounds absolutely terrifying. I'm like so excited to check it out.
Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What a weird project. That's still so weird to me.
I just hope it doesn't get the cease and desist at some point. Because, man, it's like my favorite thing right now.
Good point.
Those little hacky side projects usually get shut down once they get too popular.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you? That's my VR adventure, and that is what I've purchased. I have one other thing to talk about that I've played, but I want to hear about some of the stuff that you've done this week.
Yeah, I've done a bit of mobile games, mostly mobile games. I guess Part-Time UFO falls in that category because it's technically a mobile game. But I beat that this week with my girlfriend. We booted it up, did the boss battle at the end of the game. There is a Part-Time UFO boss battle. So that was lots of fun. This week, Pokemon Go came out with transfers. So you can...
into the main game?
Yeah, or into home at least. So, when it released, you had to be level 50 in order to use it.
What?
Which takes... level 50 takes years. Like, years and years of constant playing. So I was, really disappointed. I thought that I would never be able to be able to do it. But apparently it was a slow launch, so that they wouldn't just get overwhelmed.
Right.
So I think as of a few days ago, it finally got down to the level that I'm at. So actually, before we started recording, I actually transferred in 4 or 5 shinies that I had into Pokemon Home.
Sweet.
So that's super exciting. And then the last mobile game that I've been playing a lot this week is it's none other than Battleship.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Just your normal everyday Battleship?
I've been loving Battleship. Not really. They have classic mode. But they also have a commander's mode where each guy you choose has different ship types, and there's cooldown abilities you can use with special Battleship moves. And
is this branded Battleship, or is this some knockoff?
No, it's actually Battleship. They I forget the company that made it, but whoever owns the rights to it let some company.
Is that a Hasbro thing? I feel like it's always a Hasbro thing.
Yeah, I think Hasbro owns them, but they let a company put Battleship on the App Store for a one-time fee too of $3. So I've been playing.
Does it have in-app purchases?
Of course it does. But
okay.
I've been playing that, and I've been having so much fun. To where the point where my girlfriend comes over and I'm like, "You want to play Battleship?" And she's like, "No, not really." She's so sick of me asking to play Battleship, and she wins every time too, and she still doesn't want to play. But yeah, I've been having so much fun playing Battleship on my phone.
Can confirm Battleship owned by Hasbro.
Yep.
That's interesting. Okay, mm-hmm. Battleship. Yep. You should start up a Battleship in the Discord, Battleship channel in the Discord, and then you can...
Patient shippers.
Oh no, don't say those words together. Please don't ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh no. What have you done?
Yep. Oh, and then Friday, I bought Mario Kart Live because I was hoping for it for a Christmas gift, but they've been out of stock for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I'm like, this is Nintendo being terrible on supply and demand again, so they're going to be sold out by Christmas. So I was like, I have a gift card to get I think 30% off of it, so I went ahead and bought it myself.
Okay, so is that here yet, or you're still waiting?
It is, and it's so cool. It is so cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's it like?
It is really.
Okay, remind everyone what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a remote control car that you control from your Switch that has a camera on it. So you're essentially playing Mario Kart on a track that you set up around your home, and it uses AR to place in boxes and coins and other racers you're racing against. And you can get mushrooms from the boxes, which will actually speed up the real life car in real life.
It gives it a little more juice.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast it looks like it's going with the camera just right next to the ground. But when you look at it in real life, this thing goes so slow. And then you look back at your controller, and it's you're zooming along, and it's really cool how that works. So they gave it lots of room
of it makes it feel really fast.
Yeah, and you can do drifting. I don't know if the drifting actually makes the turning turn more, or if it just gives you a boost. I feel like it does, which is really cool.
So that they can actually force the turning radius to be sharper when you're drifting.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's awesome.
That's really cool.
And of course I got the Luigi one, the underdog.
So that means you do not have a Mario, right? It's just Luigi.
That is true. Yep.
That's so funny for me to picture. Like, you're that guy that just shows up. You're like, I got the Luigi one. You're like waiting for that perfect match of someone who bought the Mario one.
Yeah. No shame. I love it. And that's been all the games I've played this week.
Cool. Good to hear. I was on the size thing with the speed perspective, that has always stood out to me, that like smaller things look like they go faster, because it's actually something that happened in World of Warcraft a long time ago. I was playing my favorite character, which was a druid character, which can transform into different animals. And because the horde is obviously superior, I was a Tauren druid, so I was a big cow man that could transform into other types of animals. Well, the cowman is like a very big character model, and whenever you get the mount that they can ride around on to get bonus movement speed, you get like a giant dinosaur lizard looking thing that you can ride around on. So you just become this huge character model, and it gives you, I believe, a 40% or a 60% movement speed boost, something like that. But they also have an ability to turn into a cheetah if you're a druid, and the cheetah gets like I think it's 40% for the cheetah, 60% for the mount. So you do go a bit faster on the mount, but I always felt like I was going faster as the cheetah, because my huge cowman turns down into like a tiny little cheetah and just starts running. Meanwhile, on my big old dinosaur mount, I'm just this hulking monstrosity, and I always felt like I was moving faster as a cheetah when I was a little kid. Even though mathematically I knew I was faster with the lizard thing, I would still sometimes choose to go into the cheetah and just be like, I'm so freaking fast. It's always stood out in my mind.
Is Sylvanas still the leader of the horde right now?
I don't know. I haven't played since Wrath of the Lich King, man. I saw that Shadowlands cinematic, and she so did good. Some nuts stuff in that, and that is going to lead to a crazy expansion. I don't know if she's still the leader. I think she is.
Okay, they need new management. I'm Hearthstone released where it's kind of ongoing releasing a thing right now where you play through the backstory of all the characters. Ooh. Like Jaina and Garrosh and Rexxar. So like I got to experience like the whole Jaina story with her experience with the horde, and with like Thrall, and I'm like, yeah, let's go back to the Thrall days. Thrall was a good leader and Garrosh was a terrible leader. I never realized that Garrosh was a horde leader, and then he
a warchief.
Yeah, and that he was such a dummy head. I don't like Garrosh now. I like Garrosh so much less now because he was such a jerk.
Sounds like you need to get into World of Warcraft, man.
Yeah, well, that won't happen. It won't happen in World of Warcraft. It'll happen in Hearthstone. It'll happen in cinematics. But if the game looked good, maybe I'd give it a shot. But it looks like butts.
Really? That's what's stopping you?
I think so. Yeah, it looks like a Flash game or something.
Oh my!
It looks like an MMO.
All right. You have these like completely baseless opinions you just throw out there, and you stick with them, and you fight for them.
That and along, I just don't. It takes a lot of time. And
yeah. All the reasons I don't play it as well.
It looks like butts, and I think that's it. And also, I just don't like the gameplay of memorizing what buttons to press and pressing them. Too many buttons.
That's fair. So for what else I've been playing? I've been playing some Heroes of the Storm still. I normally brush over this, but I'll shout out. I have been doing two things. One, I have been practicing a hero to get better at them. I have not played competitively or anything, but I've been practicing Kel'Thuzad, your boy,
one of my favorites,
your main boy, if I remember correctly.
No, I wouldn't say main boy.
Still Tracer? Is Tracer still number one?
Tracer's my main boy. She might be. He might be second. But I think I played her so much back in the day.
Well, your number two, Kel'Thuzad, I've been practicing, and boy, that is a mean character. He can do some nasty things. But more importantly, my team, the Devil's Rejects, my Amateur League NGS team, has reached the playoffs of the season. We are, I think, ranked 4 out of the players, so we got in the top 8, which is what you need to do for playoffs.
Nice.
Because playoffs was just the top 8, that means the first round was the quarterfinals. I sent you the archive of that. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it.
No, you sent it to me?
Yes,
on what?
Via I believe the Discord channel on the HOTS channel. I tagged your name in it.
Oh,
well, okay, that's not true. I tagged Kyle in. I don't remember what happened with you. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember being tagged in nothing.
Well, do you want to hear the results of our quarterfinal round, or would you like to experience them yourself?
I mean, I would like to experience them, but also we're on the podcast, and I'm sure everyone wants to know. So what? I can take off my headphones for like 5 seconds, and you can tell everyone what happened real quick, and then I'll come back. How's that sound?
Just make sure you start screaming the 5 seconds as you have your headphones off, so I know when you're coming back.
Screaming the 5 seconds? Oh, like
Yeah,
1, 2.
Yeah.
I don't need to scream them because I'm still going to be next to my microphone, but my headphones will be off.
No, I think screaming is the only way. I think it's the only.
I don't want to peek my microphone though. Okay, but I'm going to do it. Are you ready for 5 seconds?
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1.
Okay. All right, we freaking destroyed him. We're in.
Okay, I'm coming back. Are you ready?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, I said.
Wow, isn't that exciting, everyone? Could you believe those results that he just said to you?
Well, unless the results were bad, in which case it would not be exciting at all.
Wow, isn't that not exciting, everyone? Those results? Woo, man.
Oh, man. Still a very, very good game. Overwatch was also very fun. I don't know if I have a lot to say about either of them, but the last thing I have a lot to say about, which you disappoint me, Jordan, because we talked before the podcast, and you have not played Hades yet.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Too busy been playing Battleship.
I know that you already know this, but hey, Hades is really good, okay?
But it's not Battleship.
Man, okay, I've discovered one thing I would like to say about Hades, and that is that I'm impressed by so many things, but the thing I am the most impressed by, and I just started to figure this out last night, is that I am convinced that there is no bad build, and that every option that I've picked that I thought would be terrible actually surprised me. And I thought, oh, this is actually the most overpowered build in the game. And then I found the next one. I was like, no, this is the most overpowered build in the game. Like,
That's awesome.
they have a system where every time you're presented with choices for what you want an upgrade to be, which is all the time. Every time you find an upgrade, you get like 3 choices of what you want it to be. And each of the choices, there is like a achievement system where you get achievement unlocks if you pick each of the choices at least once. So like, let's say when you meet this particular god and they offer you like 3 out of their possible 9 or 10 choices, if you don't like one of them, you don't ever have to pick it because there's always other choices. But the thing is that you have to pick all of them at least once to get the achievement for that particular god. And so there'll be times where I'm like, my favorites aren't here. And normally I would go with this like standard one, but I'm going to try this weird one that I don't think is going to work out really well just for the achievement progress. And I'm like, oh, this is actually way better than I thought it was. And I have made it very, very far. I have made it to the boss of the 4th level. I think my last 3 runs, and I cannot defeat that boss. It's a very significant boss. And, boy, is it a difficult fight. And I am just aching. Every time I lose on that 4th boss, it's like a 30-minute run. And I'm just aching to get back in there and get back to him. But that's not so easy to do when you don't have another 30 minutes. So it's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I want to get back in there. And then like the character in the game is also like really frustrated that he keeps losing. And so it's like very thematically appropriate that both you and the character hate this boss. It's such a good game. I'm excited for you to get it. We can talk combos. We can talk specifics about like different upgrades and different weapons and stuff like that. But you need to get in there and try it for yourself, man.
I'll play it one of these days.
Can that day be this week?
When I get done with Battleship.
You're never done with Battleship.
What?
You're never going to be done with Battleship.
Amen to that, brother.
While you're on this mobile game kick, why don't you jump into the nanograms and the Genshin Impact?
Because I don't want to.
Okay, that's fair.
Nah.
But they're good.
Keaton, friend of the podcast, Keaton, texted me this week. And all he said was, oh no, I beat all of Picross. So, yeah.
Well, you tell friend of the podcast, Keaton, to download the nanograms.com app on his mobile device, where he has
surprised he hasn't.
Infinite potential nanograms / Picross puzzles.
Yeah.
They've actually been hitting it hard and heavy with the events on that nanograms app. They've been dropping a new event. Like as soon as the old one's over, every like 4 or 5 days, there's a new event.
Dang,
crazy.
I'm sure he would love that then.
Yeah. Get in there. Do some nanograms. Well,
powered up.
I think that's all the games we've been playing. For the deals of this week, we already talked about the Humble Fall VR bundle. That's something you should go check out if you are interested in picking up some VR games. And the regular Humble Monthly bundle, we've talked about that last couple of weeks. I think we both officially have paused that one. We're not too interested in it, right?
Yeah, I sure wasn't.
I'll mention, though, for the PC Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass for PC, I was looking at the new games, which I have a couple I'll talk about, but I took a peek at the games that are leaving the service. What's interesting to me is Darksiders 3 is actually leaving Game Pass, but it is on the Humble Monthly Bundle right now. So if you need to check out Darksiders 3 before it goes away, you can try it on Game Pass, but you can also just get that Humble Bundle and choose that as one of your games that you're picking up, and you get Darksiders 3. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Cool beans.
Nice. Very, very cool. Besides Humble, the other stuff we like to talk about is like PlayStation Plus. Just a quick reminder, because we've talked about it a few times now, but on the PS4, you can get Hollow Knight Special Edition and Middle-earth Shadow of War. They have that new PS Plus collection, which is a very Game Pass-esque subscription library, and then Bugsnax if you have a PS5 only through the rest of the year. And then Xbox on their Games for Gold, they still have Swim Sanity. There's probably a new one out as of the 15th that I haven't checked. Do you know about anything like that, Jordan?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I will look that up for a second. Will you take us through the games for the Epic Games Store?
Of course, I wasn't ready for that.
Well, I know this week is the one is Texorcist.
Oh, yeah. This week was Texorcist.
Yeah, up to the 19th. So that's Thursday if you're hearing this when it releases on the 16th.
Yeah, which is a typing game meets like Enter the Gungeon.
Mm-hmm,
like not necessarily like bullet hell, I don't think, but actually it might be a bullet hell.
It is. When I watched the video, it definitely looked bullet hell.
Yeah, it's a typing bullet hell. Who knows how that works? But that's free until this Thursday at 10 a.m. In which case, then you can get Elite Dangerous.
Yes, that I am super excited for. I can't tell you how many times I've had Elite Dangerous literally in my Steam cart during a Steam sale, and then I back out at the last second just because I really want to play like a space game in VR, and then I'll either convince myself to do No Man's Sky, or I'll convince myself that like I just don't have the time to get into it, because every time I look up playing that game, all the stuff I read about it is that like it's a massive time sink, but it's a really, really cool space sim from what I hear. So I'm really excited to be able to try it for free, because I will certainly try it out, and that might convince me to buy like the DLC pack and play some more.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also alongside another game called The World Next Door, which is a mix of lightning fast puzzle battles, powerful storytelling, and immersive visual novel elements.
I took this game and I texted a link to my wife because I was like, this looks like a Marion game.
It really does, actually. I thought the same thing.
Yeah, it's got like a drama vibe to it, like a teen drama vibe to it, but then it's also got puzzle battles, which those always interest me when you're like doing a puzzle competitively against somebody else. And I really like the look of it, so I think it's something she's really going to enjoy.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. And the last little group of games that I'll mention, by the way, on the Games for Gold, we've mentioned it in the past, but technically the only game that we had not mentioned yet that got added is the Lego Indiana Jones for the Xbox 360.
Yeah, boy.
You know, the high quality games for Gold.
Mm-hmm.
But for Game Pass, if you have the PC Game Pass, this is a service that we like to shout out all the time. Very, very good deal. But some new stuff they added this week: Gears Tactics, that tactical Gears of War game, like XCOM style, and Final Fantasy VIII remastered, not 7, unfortunately, not the new one, but a remaster of Final Fantasy VIII. And then, interesting, I saw they had Tetris Effect Connected actually came out, which is like
that's cool.
That's the upgrade to Tetris Effect, which is the really, really like Zen Tetris game. Also available in VR, and the connected one adds multiplayer, adds a bunch of cool stuff, but it does include multiplayer, which I find fascinating. So I was already interested in this. I do have my Game Pass subscription currently turned off, but once I get back in there, I'll definitely check out the connected version, because I love the normal Tetris Effect. I played through that campaign all the way through, and I still think about going back and booting it up.
Does Xbox Game Pass have VR support?
That's a good question. We tried to answer that when Flight Simulator came out, but the VR patch for Flight Simulator was not out yet.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I would assume it does then.
Possibly, yeah. I would hope so. And I think that's it for the deals this week. Actually, kind of light because we're in the middle of the month, so you only get a few updates. But stay tuned in the next week. Probably 2 episodes from now is when we're going to get all of the details for our December games. And that will be interesting. And of course, at that point, we'll have to mix in the new consoles. So I'll have to see what they offer on these new boxes. You know, I mean, they don't have enough games to even sell you. What are they going to give you for free, right?
Exactly. That's a great point. Maybe they'll just, because Bug Snacks is going to last until next year. Maybe
is that
they'll
the
just
only
leave it.
free game?
Yeah.
Wow. I think that brings us to the best part of the podcast, which is the question and answer section. So here we're going to read off any emails that you guys have sent in. We also have a questions channel on the official Patient Players Discord, and you can reach out to us via other social media accounts over at patientplayers.com/social. That email, again, from we said at the beginning of the podcast, is patientplayerspodcast@gmail.com. You can send any question you want over there. We can get them answered for you. Why don't you take us away, Jordan, with the first email?
Sure. It says, "Howdy, Patient Players. I can't remember if this question has been asked before, but do you prefer games with a storyline or games that allow you to roam free like Minecraft? Also, what is a funny thing that has happened to you while playing a game due to a glitch or lag?" And this comes from writer of the podcast, Miranda.
Thank you, Miranda. Always good questions. We always appreciate them, Miranda. I feel like we've sort of answered the question before, but I would be down to exploring this concept once more. What are your thoughts?
That's a tough one. I like both. But like, I know a lot of people really like free roaming games, like, and they can spend hours and hours. I get bored really quickly in like Just Cause something. Obviously I love Minecraft, but like Just Cause, I get bored pretty quickly. Or like GTA. Like, I never got into GTA. Everyone loves GTA, and I was just like, I get bored, just walking around doing, I don't know.
But I feel like though that games that are, well, let's be more specific here, because there's not just free roam and story-based games. There are objective-based games, and there are exploration-based games, and there are linear games, right? So like, you really enjoy Terraria, which is a free explore roaming game. You really like Minecraft, which is a free explore roaming game, but Terraria is objective-based, right? There are achievements, there's items to get, there's bosses to beat. There are moments where you beat the game. And if that wasn't there, I don't think you'd like Terraria, right? Like, if it was just creative mode.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I probably would not like it at all. I would probably get bored very quickly of just building stuff in Terraria.
Yeah, kind of same thing in Minecraft, right? Like, unless you have a goal that you're going for, like, I want to build this thing, or I want to beat this boss, or get this item, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, Minecraft gets super boring too, and it's really the social interaction that makes it fun. Yeah, I think that I do like games that are free roaming, in the sense that, like, I would rather play a game that gives me an environment, like open world, right? Like Genshin or that kind of thing, than play a game where I have levels to go through. But to give you perspective on that, I think that I really like games even like Dark Souls, right? Where it's an environment-based game, not a level-based game, right? You're not loading into a level, but it's still sectioned off. But you can kind of choose to go back to an area you've already been to before. You can, like, jump from an area to it's non-linear, right? Like, you can jump around to different areas. I do like that. So it's not like Dark Souls is completely free roaming. It's not like you don't have an objective. You're trying to beat the game, but you're not necessarily like loading into a specific level and then playing through it and then you're done. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah.
Cool.
Funny glitch story.
Or lag. I got a lot of those when I was playing Mortal Shell this year. Just some clipping issues would like send me through the floor. And let me tell you, there's one of the 3 zones in Mortal Shell, one of the 3 like levels you go through, has some let's call it non-Euclidean geometry, or not, that's liquids, non-Newtonian geometry. So there's just like geometry that's not supposed to make sense and like not obey the laws of physics. And it's really hard to tell if you falling through the floor into a bunch of like half-built level geometry that's underneath the floor, if that's part of the game or not.
Yeah.
It took me a solid like 3 minutes to convince myself that this wasn't just some weird like extra chamber I had found myself in, because I couldn't get out. So I had to do the like the Homeward Bone equivalent, like where you summon yourself back to the last checkpoint. But that was pretty funny. I was like, this has happened in a lot of games before. I've fallen out of the level in lots of games, but this was the first one where I was like not sure if it was still part of the game. It's like that moment in Stanley Parable where it's like, oh, you thought you got out of the level, but this is actually part of the game.
Oh, so good.
How about yourself?
What comes to mind is when we play Gang Beasts, which is already fun. That time, like when your arms will get stuck on the wall and then it'll just launch your body, across the screen, or like the arms will extend out to be like large, like spider legs. That's all I got.
It reminds me of all of the Bethesda games, the Bethesda RPGs, how there's always that like one object that starts clipping and then it gets launched out of the geometry and like flies into a creature and kills them. So just like, oh, that guy just got killed by like a tin can in Fallout or something like that. Those are always really funny.
Bethesda games are not Bethesda games without just bugs like that. Like that's like, it's not a bug, it's a feature that a Bethesda game will have bugs. Looking forward to Starfield. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, there was some concept art that leaked this week for the first time on Starfield.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, our next email, it's actually going to be yet again kind of an email inserted in here, unwelcomed, by friend of the podcast, Keaton, hacker of the podcast, Keaton.
Well, maybe he sent this one.
Let's see. He begins, greetings one, greetings all. It is your number one waifu, Keaton. I hack into your email today to talk about something I've been thinking about recently. That thing being personal preference when it comes to game settings. I don't mean like graphics or audio settings. I mean is settings of the world or the game, its locations, its time period, its environments. I found over the years that a lot of what makes me interested in a game, especially ones that I really don't know anything about, is the setting it takes place in. For example, I find it hard to be interested in games like Red Dead Redemption, Elder Scrolls, or Fallout because I'm not particularly interested in westerns, generic fantasy, or generic post-apocalyptic wastelands as settings. I'm especially not a fan of war settings either, so these Call of Duty shoot-a-man games are definitely not for me either. Of course, there are some exceptions. I don't like generic fantasy, but I do like the more unique takes on fantasy like the Zelda series does. If I were to give a setting that I'm consistently interested in, though, it would be definitely sci-fi. With that in mind, it makes me wonder how much of what drives people to get into certain games and series is that it has a particular setting that they jive with. And while we're at it, what type of game setting do you jive with? Love, Keaton. Thank you, Keaton. This was for a hack. This was a pretty tame email. I appreciate it. I feel like you've definitely talked about this before.
What do you mean?
Like there are some settings that just super turn you off.
Oh yeah, I love that he mentioned the example of Elder Scrolls. Like I can acknowledge from the masses that it is a wonderful game, but it's just not my thing. Just bows and spells just bore me.
But what if it was your thing?
It's not, and it never will be.
But it might be.
This is why Bloodborne takes the cake a million times over compared to Dark Souls games. Like I've played many Dark Souls games and I've beaten them, and I've just been like, that was fun, I guess. Like I don't really care for the old knight and swords kind of setting, whereas just having like a modern day Dark Souls was like my jam, even though it still had swords in it and weapons. Like I just loved it all the more because I'm not walking around wearing knight armor fighting dragons.
I don't know if I would call it modern day, but I get what you mean. Okay. Speaking of Bloodborne, do you think compared to modern day, right? Like if you're talking about like Watch Dogs versus like the Order 1886, do you like the Victorian era stuff like Bloodborne, or do you just like Bloodborne?
I don't think it's just the Victorian era thing actually. But I don't know. I don't think I've played enough other games with that setting to really know. I think it's interesting that Keaton says he doesn't like Fallout, but then he goes and he's like, I like sci-fi games. And it's like, I think Fallout is a sci-fi game.
No.
No?
It's post-apocalyptic. That's super different because sci-fi, like Sci-fi is like Fallout if everything was still working and you weren't constantly irradiated and looking for food.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of like all the laser guns that you can find.
Right.
But I guess the game can like technically make sense if you take out those things.
Yeah. Whereas like sci-fi would be, well, I don't know, because like I know Keaton really, really likes Nier, and that's kind of the same vibe of like it was sci-fi, but now it's all dilapidated and destroyed. So I wonder what his opinion would be on those two differences. Interesting.
Science
Good
fiction.
Question. I like the I don't remember his name. Is it Ernest Cline? He's the author of the Ender's Game book and the following series after those. Very, very well respected sci-fi artist.
Mm-hmm.
Is that who I'm thinking of? Yes, it is. No, Ernest Cline wrote Ready Player One. I'm sorry. Who is the author of Ender's Game? Orson Scott Card. I'm sorry. Much more well known than Ernest Cline. Orson Scott Card said at one point about his books that he actually was wanting to write like fantasy stuff, but then publishers and the market and everything was like, no, you gotta do sci-fi. And he has this really interesting take on it that he says basically he figured out that the only difference between sci-fi and fantasy is that fantasy books have trees on the front and sci-fi have metal and rivets. But like when you get into deep enough sci-fi, it just becomes fantasy. And I think that's one of the things I really like about his books. It's like once you start talking about like alien races and magical like physics forces that don't actually exist in real life, like anti-gravity and that kind of thing, that like the line is so blurred at that point that you can kind of get away with fantasy in a sci-fi setting. It's just like, oh, the excuse is it's in space, not it was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's kind of Star Wars. I mean Star Wars is just space wizards.
Yeah, true that.
Great question. Thank you very much for the question, Keaton. Even if you had to hack it in there, maybe next time play a little nicer. You can just send us an email. In fact, what was that address again, Jordan?
Oh, that's patientplayerspodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, is it really? Well, maybe Keaton will learn that one next time and actually send us an email instead of hacking in as he frequently does.
Maybe he's just being a good friend and subtly reminding us that we need better email security.
Nonsense, man. I've changed the password 3 times. It has a different number each time on the end.
Oh, okay. Do you put the exclamation point at the end?
No. That's too many, because you gotta hit 2 keys at once for that, and sometimes I'm just using one hand,
Oh, I think that's the problem.
Well, we can just replace the letter I with the exclamation point. How's that sound?
Oh, that works. It is. It's just a Spanish one.
Yeah, the letter I in password.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you have anything else, Jordan?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I think that does it for this week's episode of the Patient Players Podcast. I want to thank everyone for listening. As a reminder, it's kind of our small little personal operation here, but we do love sharing it with the world. So if you have someone you know that you think would be interested in the type of gaming that we do, the type of deals we find, the type of humor we have, go ahead and share that. You can do so on any sort of podcast platform or through social media over patientplayers.com/listen. We'll have everything that you need to find. And also leave reviews on whatever service you're listening on, whether it's YouTube, whether it's through Twitch, whether it's through something like Spotify or the Apple Podcast Store. Any of those stores, those little reviews really do make a difference in discoverability. So thank you guys for being a part of it, and I will see you around next week, hopefully live next week. We'll see you guys on
Huzzah,
Twitch.
hopefully. Yep.
Keep an eye out on the social media. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.